like the nation, Florida works best when we hear each other out rather than shout each other down. Because at the end of the day, we all want the same things, a prosperous nation where we can all succeed.
Back now on Newsmax Prime, you just saw an excerpt of a campaign video from Pam Keith. Pam is a Democrat running for the U.S. Senate from Florida. As Marco Rubio concentrates on the White House and prepares to vacate that Senate seat in 2016, it opens up, and that's the seat Pam Keith hopes to take. And taking a seat with me right here on the anchor desk is the aforementioned Pam Keith. Pam, it's delightful to have you here on Newsmax Prime.
Thank you so much, JD. It's a pleasure to be here.
You're a Navy veteran. A lot of veterans are running for the House, the Senate, in 2016. Why do you think so many veterans, and why is it good to send a veteran to Washington?
I think that's a great question. I think the reason is that veterans are inspired to serve their nation, and they know that when they put on the uniform, they're not serving Democrats or Republicans, the rich or the poor. You're serving everybody. So they have that sense of teamwork, that sense of service and self-sacrifice, and they're committed to trying to do their best at all times. I think that makes them uniquely qualified. We also have so many military conflicts going on right now that kind of on-the-ground perspective really adds a lot.
Well, let's talk some about the hot spots in the world. Your dad in the Foreign Service and preceded you in the U.S. Navy as well. Exactly. So your experience had you living around the world. The Middle East right now, and specifically Iran, with the nuclear deal that the President and Secretary Kerry have tried to engineer. Are you in support of the deal as fashioned right now?
I'm not sure anybody knows exactly what the deal looks like right now. I support the idea of trying to find a diplomatic solution. And time will tell if it is in fact a solution. In my experience in the Navy, I was a part of the group that was policing Saddam Hussein. Those were the units that I was servicing. And we were enforcing the no-fly zone, but we were also trying to ensure that those UN inspectors were getting access that they needed to actually do their inspections. And we called it the sort of inspection okie doke. Like they would show up on a spot and maybe their key wasn't there, or there was no access, the road was blocked. And so it became a game, and we would spin up to put pressure on Saddam Hussein, and then he would back down. And that sort of thing happened over a period of time, and it obviously frustrated the forces as well as the UN inspectors. So I think that there's some legitimacy in having some concern and incredulity as to whether sanctions can really work. And I certainly think that there's a good point in having the sword of Damocles hanging over Iran if they try to play that inspection okie doke.
If you were in the United States Senate today, would you vote in favor of continued sanctions on Iran?
I would vote in favor of allowing that negotiation process to play out and to have that sanction mechanism available at the drop of a dime, so that we wouldn't have to go back and re-go through the sanction process in order to reinforce them.
But if the Iranians get a nuclear weapon, doesn't that render all the sanctions moot?
You know, I don't think Iran is going to get a nuclear weapon, and I don't think that that's something that we alone would ensure would not happen. We have friends, very powerful friends, that would ensure that Iran does not get a nuclear weapon.
A couple of minutes remain. I want to talk to you more about your campaign. And judging from your website, you were ready to take on Senator Rubio as an incumbent. Now he's shifting focus to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Some other Democrats are interested. A couple of guys in the House I hear about, Patrick Murphy and also Alan Grayson. Right. What will help you win the Democrat nomination?
Well, I think the first thing is that I'm a different kind of voice. I'm eminently qualified, my background proves that, but I'm also relating to voters in a different way. I think they're really eager to hear a different kind of voice. I'm not running just to be the Democrat that fills the Democrat spot. I have specific proposals and ideas that I want to bring to the table that sort of bridge the gap between private enterprise and government. And I think people are really eager to see that gap closed.
We're taking a look at your website and your video right now. And Pam, in the minute that remains, something making headlines on Capitol Hill today, Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz is officiating a same-sex marriage ceremony, I believe in the vicinity of the Supreme Court. Is that the role of a legislator?
I'm not sure that she's doing it as a legislator. Maybe it's just a personal friend of hers. But I can't knock her for doing that. If
Well,
I can't
let me ask you, as a United States Senator, and we look at your logo and it has the equal rights, would you perform a same-sex marriage as an attorney?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
I firmly believe in marriage equality. My brother is gay. He's getting married actually this very week, and I'm very excited to stand by his side in that. He spent 36 years being less than who he was and having to make sure that he wasn't offending people, and now he gets to live an honest life, and I couldn't be more pleased about that.
Honestly, for you, 10 seconds left. The website again where people can find out more about your campaign?
PamKeith.com. It is a website full of video, position statements, and real content, background data. PamKeith.com, or like me on Facebook as well. I'm on at Pam Keith for U.S. Senate.
We loved having you here in studio. Pam Keith, you have our thanks, and Newsmax Prime continues after this.
Thank you.